Hi there, everybody. How y'all doing? How you doing? So if you were with me in the new moon manifestation class in the workshop that we did a couple nights ago, then you heard me promise that I was going to upload this tutorial for you guys. And so that's what I'm doing right now, is the tutorial. I am dismantling my the current prosperity bowl that I have, and my cauldron. You see the smoke coming out because I have a charcoal lit. So what I like to do, this is like a two-part kind of thing. You get to see both. All of the old herbs that I had in here, I like to burn them. It is either that they get burned or they go like out in my rose garden or, you know, something like that. But typically I will burn them. I like that the best. So I am doing that right now. I'm dropping them over here on this hot coal. If you're working with coals and candles and things, I have my sea salt candle holder lit. Don't burn yourself. I want to say that because it seems to be a thing to have to say things like that. So I am taking all of the munchies out of here. I have some money here. This is the money that I'm taking out, and then I have another little pile of change over here that I'm going to use in a minute. Certain things will get reused, but not all these herbs. I'm putting fresh herbs. We're freshening this thing up to make sure that I get all my little stones out. So I'm going to do this a little differently than I did it the last time. If you see, I'm pulling all of the change and everything. This is the spell part of it was in the cup this last time. And I discovered that I didn't like that quite as much. So this time I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and I will be walking you through all of those steps in just a moment. What I am doing right now is picking out all of the monies, and I'm getting all of the herbs. Let's see if I can let you see that. The change, and see it's got little herbs dispersed in there. So I'm getting all of the change out so that the herbs can go over in the cauldron. All right, that's all I've got left. And remember, I told you my teacup is attached here, right? So, oh, I still managed to miss a couple of pennies. There. See what I mean when I say be careful? All right, all right. Now, I am just wiping this out a little bit because I am going to smudge it. Now, typically for me, now everybody does something different. I don't want anybody to think that what I am telling you is the absolute 100%. This is the only way that you can do this. That's not true. Okay? Everybody does things their way. It's what feels best and right to you. So there's that. I want to make sure that that's out there. Okay? So for me, I just wipe this off because throughout the time that I am using it, I am going to turn this music down just a little bit. Throughout the time that I am using it, I burn candles here. I burn incense here. I may, like when I go around the room, I spray Florida water. So, you know, I don't feel like there's anything attached. If I feel like there's something attached, I will clean this differently. But for the most part, I clean and clear things with my incense smoke or with my Florida water spray bottle. Okay. Whenever I am doing a work, 9 times out of 10, if you are listening in or something like that, you're going to hear some kind of music going in the background. Almost always. This is a manifestation tune, and I will put the link to it below. If you like it, Usually what I listen to is some kind of a chant or some kind of a mantra. So there is that. So first thing first, you want to assemble all of your stuff. Get all your stuff pulled out and together. Okay. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I have here, and we'll talk about what a prosperity bowl or jar is for. If you remember from the workshop, prosperity bowl or prosperity jar is for you to attract prosperity or abundance. You can use a teacup, you can use an actual bowl. You want to make it accessible for you and something that you are attracted to and you want to use. Okay, so I like my little bowl set because I will never use this to drink tea. Y'all have seen my tea mugs, they're huge. They're big tea mugs. This is like a cute little dainty set, and I love the design on it. I don't know if you can see the phoenix that's on there. I love the design on it, but it's not something that I would sit and use because this doesn't hold enough for me. So not what I use it for. The jars, I just like to make sure that I have a jar with a lid that's easily removable because, like I said, I reuse my jars and my dishes and things. And so I want it to be something that, can easily come off. Now, if you're going to burn candles on the top of this, you want to make sure that it is either glass or that it is metal. Some people like to feed their jars with candles. I always use glass or metal like the canning jars, so it has the metal lid. I always use something like that for jars. You can also do a prosperity jar in something as small as this. I don't know if you can really see that, but these tiny little containers. I will post a link below to where you can get them. You would layer them in the same way, with the exception of with something like this, the hole is not big enough for you to put money in there. So you would substitute something else, and we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so if you're going to use stones, get your stones together. Herbs, get your herbs together. Have your stuff already laid out when you get started. All right. Now, some herbs that are really good to use, cinnamon. I love cinnamon. You will notice that I do have cinnamon sticks here. You can use powder, the powdered cinnamon, the ground cinnamon. You can use that. I prefer not to for a bowl or like something that's going to be open like this. I prefer not to because I don't want it to be messy. This is something that you want the energy to keep moving. So whatever I place here, I'm going to be taking stuff out of here, which is why I want to use the cup this time to hold the money that I'm using. And this piece I will use for the herbs and things because I want to, be able to take stuff in and out. Plus, you saw what that was like. Trying to go through and clear out all the herbs it's a lot. And this is the space that I would burn my candles. So we'll get to that. So that's what I'm doing this time. And you want this to be something that you can set up somewhere and the energy flow is moving. So this isn't something that you do and you're going to stick in a closet. You're going to keep this out and you're going to use it. You're going to, throw your change in here at the end of the day, throw whatever dollars you have left. I know a lot of us use cards. I hardly ever carry cash, okay? I always have cards. A lot of us use cards. You're going to throw something in here, and it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be any of the herbs. You can give it more herbs. You can feed it incense. You can feed it candles. Believe me, it works. So let's get into it. I have here stones. I have cowrie shells. Some of you may know that cowrie shells used to be the currency a long time ago with the indigenous peoples and things like that, right? So I have some of those. I have a stone that says thanks. I love to use this for things because I always begin things with gratitude. That is my thing. I always begin things with gratitude, with positive affirmations. I give offerings to my ancestors, things like that. So that's the main thing. Now, to start it off, the first thing that you want to do is smudge all your stuff. So I am going to do that using incense. You will never see me blow an incense or a candle. I don't do that. I was taught that that blows away the spirits and things that you want to work with. So you will see I take this in a clockwise motion because clockwise gets rid of things, right? And I want to get rid of any negative energy, anything negative. My beautiful stones I took out actually prior to last couple nights ago. I took these out and I set them out to clear and charge them on my charging station. So for the purposes of this video, I just stuck them back in there so that you got to see the whole process. But this was out. I'm even smudging the $2 bill. Yes, I am. I want all of the old stagnant energy. This has been my bowl for a couple of months. And it's worked really well for me. But I definitely want to add to it and take away from it. And I just got the feeling, that it was time to start it over. And if you ever do any kind of work with me, if I ever do any kind of work for you, then I am all about following intuition and the messages that Spirit gives. And so since I had this feeling, it just happened to be at a perfect time when we were doing this workshop, and it was like, go ahead and freshen this thing up. So here I am freshening. I hope that you guys can see me pretty good. All right. And this is my candle that I will be using at the end. Now, for the sake of this video, I already wrote my petition, okay? I did not want to slow the process down doing that here, so I already wrote it. All right. So, very first thing that you want to do in the bottom of here, you're going to throw in some kind of money. I mean, if the whole purpose is for you to attract prosperity, for prosperity, it's not just, prosperity and abundance are not just necessarily money. You can be prosperous in all areas of your life, right? The difference in those words is that prosperity is in having an overflow, right? Abundance can go either way. You can have an abundance of sadness, whatever. So you won't hear me like use those words interchangeably too much. But for this particular dish, I am adding in just some coins. I like to use silver. It's whatever you feel is lucky for you, right? So I just like to use coins because I think all my money is lucky. All right, so I am just going to grab some of these coins, put them here. I have some particular ones for particular reasons. Like this one is one of the Susan B. Anthony dollars. And the reason that I put this one here is because it is, I'm sorry, this one is Ulysses S. Grant, my bad. So the reason that I'm putting this one is because it has that gold color, right? So I'm going to put that one. And this one is just very lucky for me. It's a quarter. This is a quarter, but you see how it's all bubbled out on both sides? I don't remember exactly what happened, but when my grandfather passed, it was in a collection of his coins, and that got passed to me, and voila. So anything that comes from my granddaddy, I will use. So I'm going to throw some more coins here. You try not to use anything that is like ragged looking when you're starting your bowl out. Now later when you're throwing change in here, does it matter? No, not really. You want to put things here though to begin it. That's lucky, that's shiny, that's attracting. So like these pennies that are all like browned and yeah, I ain't putting them over there. We starting fresh. We're not doing that. So I put some of these coins here. Quarters, nickels, dimes, everything's here. If you are a person that is wanting to travel, okay, if you're wanting to have money all over the world, you may want to put foreign currency here, okay? Just an example. I saw someone do that before and it worked great for her, so we'll go with that. So there's that. So put your coins there. Now for me, I know people go ahead and layer their herbs, but because I am using bigger stones, I'm going to place my stones in things first. So this right here, this is a bottle of gold flakes. I know I showed this on the workshop video the other night. This is just gold flakes. These came from a gold mine out in Texas. And so I'm putting those here. You can see them. I just set them here. I'm going to take my beautiful lapis. I love lapis. The little flecks that are in there are pyrite. Pyrite attracts prosperity. I'm going to stick that over here. My citrine. Gotta have my citrine, okay? So I'm just going to sit it right on top of my stones. And this dude right here, my big piece of desert rose. This is selenite. I think I explained the other night that how selenite is it amplifies. It's a type of desert rose is a type of selenite, and selenite amplifies any stones that it's it's touching. Okay, so it amplifies everything. So I'm sticking that here. There's that. All right. So now my little thank stone, I will just prop this up somewhere. It doesn't really matter to me where it gets propped up, just as long as it's there. It is in its place to, say thank you for everything that I received. Just as long as it's here, I'm good to go. All right, so now what I'm going to do with the rest of this, my little $2 bill, this is just me because this is just convenient for it to kind of slide in this little thing here. So that's where I like to stick it. I stick it right there in the teacup holder. So it's there. This never gets spent because this is also a really, really old $2 bill that came from my granddaddy too. All right, so that is there. Now, what I will do with these other stones and cowrie shells that I have sitting here, I am going to take these and I'm going to put them inside the cup. All of them. I'm just putting all of them. I don't know if you guys can see the sparkles in there. This is the green gold stone. Okay. And then I have goldstone. I know there's another name, but it's escaping me right now for the green one. So I have a piece of pyrite. Drop that in there. And I have a piece of jade. All right. And then I have my cowrie shell. So I'm going to drop these all in here. And those are just going to sit in the bottom. This is where I'm going to drop my money. It's going to go in. That's fine for that to sit there. For the rest of this, I'm going to take my herbs. I chose herbs for various reasons, okay? So I have a piece of dandelion, and I'm going to drop that one over here, actually, because I don't want it to ever get caught in the flame of the candle. So I'm going to stick that one over here to the side. But now I have some sunflower petals. They bring happiness. They bring joy. I love them. I have some rosemary. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the herbs. Prior to the video, I did this already, and that's why I'm not taking the time to do it now. But you want to fuse your intention into your herbs, into your stones. You want to tell them what it is you want them to do, okay? So, like, when I get done with this, I'm going to, like, send energy to all of this. But you normally want to take each stone and you want to, like, program it. Put your hand over it. Tell it what you want it to do. Same thing with your herbs. You want to tell them what you want them to do. They all have different properties and things that they work for. They don't know which one you want. They don't automatically, they're not going to figure it out because you assemble a bunch of things, and they're not going to look at everything and go, okay, so they want this. That is not how that works. So you have to tell them what you want them to do. And so I did this prior to this video. I am going to redo this. I'm going to kind of, send a whole bunch of energy here because I did smudge afterwards. So I'm going to send more energy, but I'm just going to sprinkle these herbs around right now. I got basil. Basil is excellent for attracting money, any type of prosperity. So I got basil there. And then, of course, I have my cinnamon stick. My cinnamon stick, I'm just going to throw this big piece into the container, and the smaller pieces, I'm just going to lay them on here. They can just lay on here because you know what? They'll be really great for balancing my candle. All right. Now, one more thing that I love to use in any kind of prosperity stuff, I like to use glitter. So gold glitter, you can feed your stuff glitter. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding, y'all. So I'm going to put a little bit inside of there. I'm going to put a little bit out here. I use gold most of the time, but you can also use silver, and I got silver too. See, I like to have fun with it, and that's the thing. You want to have fun with it. You want to focus your intentions while you're doing this. Make it fun. Make it your own. There is no right or wrong. There is what works for you. That's the basis of anything magical, okay? Whatever works for you. All right, so here is that. There is my little dish all put together. Okay, so this is the one that I'm putting together for the purposes of this video. All put together. Everything's there. Bam. Now, when I burn my candles, I like to add stuff. So what I'm wanting to attract is money for this one. This is what I did this one for. So I am using my Fast Luck oil. I mix this myself, as I said. If you want to order it, you have to contact me and let me know. This one has a roller top, so I will just get it on my finger. You can get them in the containers, that don't have that, but for me, I like this because I actually wear it on my body. I sure do. Yes. And it smells amazing. Okay, so to attract things to you clockwise. Okay? Clockwise. All right, so I will sit this here. And the last thing that I am going to do, some people put it in first, but I'm going to put it in last because I want it to touch my money all the time. I'm not going to show this to you. I won't show you the other side. But this is the joss paper. On the other side is where I wrote my petition for what I want, okay? So you're going to fold it towards you. Towards me. Turn to the right. Right brings things to you. Left takes things away. Folding again. Turn to the right. Folding. And I'm just going to keep doing that until it is small enough that I can just drop it in this cup. Again, I have seen people do it where they put this in the very bottom and they make sure that, it's up under all the stones and all the stuff, right? I do it however it goes in there. So I will just kind of slide this to the side in here and allow it to, kind of mix in with the stones. That is the one thing that will never come out. I'll leave it in there until I am all done with this whole thing. And again, the first petition was burned in there. So it will just stay in here. And it's against all of the stones and all of that stuff. So now I put my candle there. I have all of my stuff here. If you have a sigil that you use, you may want to put it on your petition. You may want to put it on your candles when you burn them. You can light incense and put them here. You don't have to necessarily burn the incense right on top of here. You can put a little incense burner there. I use my cauldron, so I could sit my cauldron right next to this and just have the smoke burning, next to it. I would want to turn it so that the smoke is kind of over this way a little bit, but that's it. And just have the incense burning there. You can, light the candle. You can give it more herbs. You can give it less herbs. The one thing that I encourage you to do is when you put money in here, you always want to give more than you take. Think of this as you being the cup or bowl or the jar. If you use a cup, bowl, or jar, if you use a jar, you want this to like continually be full, right? So you want this to have more than what you take away. So I started out with money down here, right? If I put $100 here, I don't want to take away $100 and then take some of the money off of the bottom too. That ain't what I want to do. Whatever I put here, I want to leave some here. Okay, the purpose is for you to be overflowing with prosperity. So I always want there to be stuff here, and I want there to always be energy moving, because you want that flow to continually, keep going in your life, right? Another thing that you may want to do from time to time, again, this is just me, sea salt. I will take some sea salt and I will just kind of sprinkle a little bit, because sea salt does what? It absorbs negative energy. So if there is anything negative happening up in my finances, I am going to throw me some sea salt in the mix and let it absorb anything negative, any blockages, anything like that. You can do a blockbuster, which, we'll talk about that in another video. You can do a blockbuster or a road opener and, get stuff out of the way that way. Different ways, many, many different ways. You do what works for you. So that is it for this. What I am going to do is go ahead and light this candle. And I'm going to be like Usher and let it burn. And that's it. So that's it for Prosperity Bowl, Prosperity Jar. I hope this was beneficial to you. And you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed rest of the day. Ashe.